Please introduce yourself. Tell me about your job, personality, and hobbies, including what kind of movies you enjoy watching.
My name is Junso Kim, and I'm a job seeker in my mid-20s. Currently, I'm preparing for interviews and studying for certifications related to data analysis. I'm quite diligent and organized, but I also try to stay flexible. In my free time, I enjoy watching movies, especially science fiction films. For example, I recently watched Interstellar again, and I love how it combines complex ideas with emotional storytelling. Movies help me relax and also inspire me to think deeply about the future. I also like going to the cinema with friends to discuss the plot afterwards. Overall, I'm a determined person who likes to balance hard work with meaningful leisure.
Describe your favorite movie theater. What does it look like, and why do you like going there?
My favorite movie theater is called Cine Art, and it's located near my university. It's a small independent theater with only 4 screens, but each auditorium is cozy and well-designed. The seats are comfortable leather recliners, and the sound system is excellent. The walls are decorated with classic movie posters, giving it a vintage feel. There's also a small cafe inside where you can buy fresh popcorn and coffee. I like going there because it's less crowded than the big multiplexes, and the ticket prices are affordable for a job seeker like me. Also, they often screen independent films and foreign movies that you can't see elsewhere. Last month, I watched a Japanese animated film there, and the atmosphere was perfect. The dim lighting and the quiet audience made the experience immersive. Overall, it's a place where I can relax and enjoy cinema without distractions.
What kind of movies do you usually watch? Do you have any particular habits or routines related to watching movies?
I usually watch action and sci-fi movies because they help me unwind after a long day of studying. I have a specific routine. Every Friday night, I order pizza and watch a new release on a streaming platform. I also like to take notes on the plot or characters, especially if the movie has complex themes. Recently, I started a habit of watching one classic film per week to broaden my perspective. This routine helps me relax and also gives me something to look forward to during the week.
Tell me about a memorable movie you watched recently. What made it special?
Actually, I watched a Korean film called The Attorney last month, and it really left a strong impression on me. The movie is based on a true story about a human rights lawyer who defended students accused of being communists during the 1980s dictatorship. What made it special for me was the protagonist's transformation from an ordinary tax lawyer to a passionate human rights defender. I remember a particular scene where he stands up in court and delivers a powerful speech. That moment gave me chills. As a job seeker, I could relate to the theme of standing up for what is right, even when it's difficult. The acting was superb, especially by the lead actor. I watched it on a streaming platform with Korean subtitles, and I even took notes of some inspirational lines. I think this movie not only entertained me, but also taught me about courage and justice.
Compare watching movies in a theater versus watching them at home. Which do you prefer, and why?
I definitely prefer watching movies at home over going to the theater. First of all, the convenience is unbeatable. I can pause the movie whenever I want to grab a snack or use the restroom, which is impossible in a theater. Also, I can watch in my pajamas and control the volume. However, I admit that theaters have better sound systems and a larger screen, which enhances the experience for action movies. But for me, the comfort and flexibility of home win out. For example, last week I watched Interstellar at home on my 65-inch TV. I could rewind complex scenes to understand the plot, and I didn't have to deal with noisy audiences. Overall, while theaters offer a cinematic experience, home viewing suits my lifestyle better as a job seeker who needs to save money and time.
How has the way you watch movies changed compared to when you were a child?
The way I watch movies has changed dramatically since I was a kid. Back then, I used to watch movies on TV, or sometimes rent DVDs from a store. I remember going to the video rental shop with my dad every Friday to pick out a movie for the weekend. But now, everything has shifted to streaming services. I subscribe to platforms like Netflix and Disney+, so I can watch almost any movie anytime, anywhere on my phone or laptop. Also, my movie preferences have evolved. As a child, I loved animated films and superhero movies, but now I prefer documentaries and independent films that make me think. Another big change is that I often watch movies alone rather than with family. Since I'm busy with job preparation, I tend to watch movies late at night to unwind. Overall, my movie watching habits have become more personalized and convenient.
Think about a time when you had a problem while watching a movie. What was the problem, and how did you solve it?
I once had a frustrating experience while watching a movie on a streaming platform. It was a Friday night, and I was really looking forward to watching a newly released sci-fi film. However, about 20 minutes into the movie, the video started buffering repeatedly and the audio was out of sync. I tried pausing and restarting the app, but it didn't help. First, I checked my internet connection speed and found it was fine. Then, I realized the issue might be with the streaming service itself. I decided to switch to a different streaming platform where the same movie was available. After logging in, I was able to watch the rest of the movie without any problems. Since then, I always keep a backup streaming subscription just in case.
I'd like you to imagine that you are at a movie theater. You want to watch a new movie that just came out, but you don't know the showtimes or ticket prices. Please ask the ticket booth staff for that information.
Excuse me, could you help me with some information? I'd like to watch the new movie The Last Voyage that just premiered today. Could you tell me what showtimes are available for this evening? Also, I'm a student, so do you offer any discounts? And one more thing, is it possible to reserve a seat online, or do I have to buy the ticket here at the booth? I'd appreciate your help.
I'd like you to imagine a situation. You are planning to watch a movie with a friend this weekend. However, your friend suddenly says he can't go because he has to work. You really want to see the movie. What would you say to your friend to solve the problem? Please explain the situation and ask for help.
Actually, I'm in a bit of a bind. My friend and I planned to see the new sci-fi movie this Saturday, but he just told me he has to work overtime. I really want to watch it because I've been waiting for its release for months. I was thinking maybe he could ask his boss if he can come in later or switch shifts with a coworker. If that doesn't work, I could ask him to at least check if there's a later screening. I'd say something like, "Hey, I know you're busy, but could you try to adjust your schedule? I really don't want to go alone." I hope he can help me figure this out.
You are planning to watch a movie with a friend this weekend. Your friend wants to see an action movie, but you prefer a comedy. Suggest an alternative and explain why.
I understand your friend wants to watch an action movie, but I think a comedy could be a better choice for both of us. How about we watch a comedy that also has some action elements? For example, we could watch The Hitman's Bodyguard, which is a mix of comedy and action. That way, you still get the excitement of action scenes, and I can enjoy the humor. Why don't we check the reviews first? If it doesn't look good, we can always switch to another genre next time. Also, after the movie, we can grab some coffee and discuss our favorite parts. This compromise will make both of us happy.
What is your opinion on watching movies in a theater versus watching them at home? Which do you prefer, and why?
I personally prefer watching movies at home rather than in a theater. The main reason is convenience. At home, I can pause the movie whenever I want to grab a snack or use the restroom without missing anything. Also, I can watch in my pajamas and control the volume. However, I understand that theaters offer a more immersive experience with a big screen and surround sound. For big blockbusters like action movies or special effects films, going to the theater can be exciting. But for me, as a job seeker, I often watch movies to relax after studying or preparing for interviews. Being at home allows me to multitask, like reviewing notes during boring parts. So overall, home viewing suits my lifestyle better.
Do you prefer watching movies at home or in a movie theater? Please explain your preference.
Actually, I prefer watching movies at home rather than in a theater. The main reason is convenience. At home, I can pause the movie whenever I want, grab a snack from the kitchen, or even rewind if I miss something. Also, I can watch in my comfortable clothes and adjust the lighting to my liking. Another thing is cost. Going to the theater is quite expensive nowadays, especially with ticket prices and snacks. I'd rather save that money for something else. However, I do enjoy the big screen and surround sound at the cinema. For action or sci-fi movies, I might go to the theater occasionally, but for most films, I prefer the comfort of my home.
How often do you use technology to watch movies? Do you prefer watching movies on a big screen at a theater or on a personal device like a laptop or tablet?
Actually, I watch movies quite frequently using technology. I'd say about 3 to 4 times a week, mostly on my laptop or tablet. Since I'm a job seeker preparing for interviews, I often study at cafes, and watching a movie on my tablet during breaks is a great way to relax. However, I still enjoy going to the theater occasionally, maybe once a month, especially for blockbuster films. The big screen and surround sound really enhance the experience. But for everyday viewing, I prefer personal devices because of the convenience. I can pause anytime, rewatch scenes, and it's more cost-effective. Plus, streaming services like Netflix have a huge library. So, while theaters offer a special experience, the flexibility of technology wins for me.
What do you do to stay healthy? Do you exercise regularly?
I try to stay healthy by incorporating small habits into my daily routine. I usually go for a 30-minute walk in the evening after dinner, and I also do some light stretching before bed. I don't go to the gym regularly, but I make sure to exercise at least 3 times a week. For example, I sometimes follow workout videos on YouTube at home. I think it's important to find activities you enjoy, because that makes it easier to stick with them. I'd say my current routine works well for me, and I plan to keep it up.
Tell me about a memorable trip you have taken. Where did you go, and what did you do?
Actually, I'd like to talk about a trip I took to Jeju Island last summer. It was a short getaway with 2 of my close friends, and we went there to relax and escape from our busy job hunting routine. We stayed in a small pension near the coast, and every morning we opened the curtains to see the ocean right in front of us. One of the most memorable moments was hiking up Halasan Mountain. The weather was perfect, and the view from the top was absolutely breathtaking, so we took tons of photos. After the hike, we visited a local seafood market and tried fresh abalone porridge, which was incredibly delicious. We also watched a movie at a small cinema in Jeju City, and it felt special because we were in a different place. In the future, I'm going to plan a longer trip with my friends, maybe to Busan, and I will definitely include more cultural activities. That trip was a great reminder that taking a break is essential, and I hope to have more adventures like that soon.